The bureaucrats at the World Health Organization missed their self-imposed deadline to submit a finalized draft of their proposed international pandemic accord or treaty with the 77th World Health Assembly that will begin in less than 2 weeks. Actually begins on the 27th. Now this comes as the governments of both the United Kingdom and Slovakia have announced this week that they will not sign the global WHO power grab. As international resistance rather, to this treaty builds, what can we expect from the World Health Assembly? Now, we're hearing that the Biden administration is all ready to sign up, but we're seeing opposition now percolating up from the states. In fact, 22 state attorneys general have sent a letter expressing opposition. Joining me now is one of those attorney generals, Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. He joined with a coalition of 21 other state attorneys general in sending a letter to President Biden in opposition to the World Health Organization's agreements. General Bailey, welcome back to Washington Watch.
Tony, thank you so much for having me on and covering this important story.
Well, it hasn't gotten a lot of attention. In fact, it hasn't gotten any attention from the legacy media, but we've been talking about it. Obviously, people are very concerned about it, and 21 of your colleagues also concerned about the implications this would have for state governments. Tell us about it.
Well, certainly, I think you characterized it appropriately. The World Health Organization, which has traditionally been an advisory body, is attempting an unprecedented power grab that would actually create the authority within the WHO to enforce pandemic regulations. And what our experience in COVID-19 taught us is that the worst of tyrannical tendencies of the progressive left come out when there's a perceived or actual emergency like a pandemic. And so movement towards a one world government whose response to COVID was terrible, was abominable at best, and that has these kind of unilateral tendencies to consolidate power in an international organization is not only unconstitutional and illegal, but is immoral as well.
So, General, what authority does the federal government have to delegate public health decisions to this unelected international body like the World Health Organization?
Well, Tony, you're absolutely right in the fact that the United States Constitution does not give any authority to the federal government to delegate its responsibility for public health policy with either the World Health Organization or to take that authority away from the states. And so the structure of our government matters under our constitutional democratic republic. And the 10th Amendment clearly states that any authority not given to the federal government or denied to the states is enjoyed by the states and the people of the states. And so neither Joe Biden nor even the Congress could delegate this authority to an international body that would seek to enjoy any authority over the people of the United States of America.
I mean, it's quite amazing that they're actually taking away the authority of state governments and giving it to this international body. It's bad enough that they would delegate their own authority or give their own authority away, but they're giving away that of the states. Now, those drafting this agreement, they missed their deadline. This is according to the rules. And they're working now to cobble something together in the 11th hour. This is really kind of marks this whole process. It's been going on for almost 2 years. A lot of it behind closed doors. A lot of it just constantly changing. It's hard to get a grasp on exactly what they're going to propose. Is that going to be the undermining of this? Will that be an opening for those that want to challenge this accord to come after it?
I certainly think so. And as you pointed out, there are some other member nations expressed their explicit reservations prior to what we've seen the WHO do most recently. But certainly having this many states on board with this kind of demand letter and putting the WHO and President Biden on notice that there are significant legal flaws here, aside from the fact that it's a terrible policy position, should be enough to prevent this slouch towards a one-world government.
Yeah, and that's an extremely important point, General Bailey. This is a precursor to one-world government. It's kind of coming in the back door. It's scaring people because of the pandemic that we've got to have this authority. But you're exactly right. This is setting the stage for one-world government.
well, we will continue to fight back and ensure that our constitutional rights here in the United States of America and in the state of Missouri are scrupulously protected. And it's in times of perceived emergency that we must be most vigilant in our protection of our constitutional liberties.
All right, General Bailey, always great to talk with you. Thanks so much for joining us on Washington Watch today.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me on.
All right, General Andrew Bailey of Missouri. Okay, here's what you can do, all right? There's still time to act. There is legislation actually designed to force the Biden administration to submit this to the Senate for ratification, which is what a treaty requires, even though they're calling it an accord. They're trying to circumvent the Senate. Text WHO to 67742. That's WHO to 67742. There's House Resolution 1425. In fact, we're going to probably get the author of that bill on later in the week. We just got to keep the awareness going. We've got to talk to people about this. Again, the legacy media is not talking about it. They don't want people to know about it. But we want people to know about it.